when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. All in when I show up, whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. Watch me elevate. I was born and when I watch me elevate. I was born and when I watch me elevate.
Broken dreams in my pocket, golden thing round my neck like a locket. Carve your name in my mind, 'cause you caught it, you caught it. You're golden, golden, honestly you know it. Me under the street light at the young so I could show you. You're golden, golden, honestly you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine just so that I could show you. You're golden, yeah, you're golden, you're golden, yeah, you're golden, golden, yeah. When we meet, hold my hand in the darkness. Summer heat, bodies laid on the carpet.
And we are green here at Paul Ricard as the spray gets produced here.
I feel your heart beating here in this place. Pain has no meaning. I need to know I'm not alone. Now take it home as the night begins to fade away. Yesterday, I wanna stay in this moment here with you. I know in this life we take what we're given, and the sun may still rise, but your light is missing. I need to know I'm not alone. Now take it home as the night.
Overtaker looking to try and make it more peaceful. This is pretty much for lap on the lead lap. Overtaker down. Euro has gone round. And Overtaker is on the inside of Peaceful Explosion.
Wish you were near. I'll keep you right here beside me. I need to know I'm not alone. Now take it home as the night begins to fade away. To yesterday, I wanna stay.
And Ripper's going to have to try and do a switcheroo. He waits for the apex. He does so. Can he get a better run? They're going to go side by side. Audi versus McLaren.
Take me home as the night begins to fade away. To yesterday, I wanna stay in this moment here with you.
He has, and I have missed it. Sorry, De Silva, but De Silva wins race 1 of the season. Matt is going to come home for P2.
In this moment here with
He will come home in the Audi. What a shot that was. Great stuff from him there. He crosses the line for P3.
Getting hype when I aim up.
Green here.
That game up.
And we are underway in the pack. Just spread out. Just either
Only first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate.
Meanwhile, there's 3 abreast going up the hill, and I think Gary and Fury have come together.
Yeah. All in when I show up. Whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up in the place. I was born and when I watched me elevate.
Here comes Ripper, look at them, 4 abreast near enough. And that Ferrari is getting bombarded by Audi. Look at it.
I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate.
Comes home in P2. Matimovic with a solid start. He will cross the line in P3. I've just realised something. Right, let's try that again. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dan Davis. Sorry about the, I thought I was talking in, but I wasn't. I had it on mute. Welcome to SimPlay Motorsport. We are here for round 2 of the season, and joining me in the commentary box once again is my good friend PNMotorsport. PN, how are you doing this fine evening?
I'm not too bad, Dan. A bit warm because it's summer in Britain and our houses are not very good for keeping cooling. But yeah, we're here. We're at Pro. It's damp now, the track conditions, so it's getting drier, apparently.
It is indeed. We are here at the most famous, or one of the most famous circuits in motorsport. We are at Spa-Francorchamps, famously known for causing red flags in Formula 1, and also this is an iconic circuit, isn't it, Pierre? Obviously, we've got 20 minutes of free practice for these guys still. We did have a slight hiccup just a second ago, as we did have our servers go down. So that was fun. But either way, PN, let's discuss this circuit. The Spa-Francorchamps, probably, like I said, one of the most famous tracks in motorsport. What do we think of the track, and obviously what do we think of the conditions? Because right now, track is set to damp, it's raining, but it is meant to lighten up. But Spa, in a few words.
Love it. That's it. Love Spa.
See,
One of my favourite circuits.
I have a love-hate relationship with Spa. Obviously, the love is when I won my 3rd title in the GT3s, was here in the snow. But yeah, not been good for me since. But other than that, it's definitely an iconic track, isn't it? Very long, based a lot on power, as Louis in the chat says, evening all. It's very much a power second, isn't it?
It is, but if it's wet, you want downforce, regardless. If not, you just let her spin out, especially if you touch the curbs. Last night, though, for Pro-Am, we had quite a dry race. It was great fun.
I'm sure it was. I'm just dealing with the stream in a minute. It's just down to me. As you can see, a few drivers missing here this evening. Sadly, we don't have Matimovic, who is currently being kicked off of a plane as we speak. He was meant to be going to Switzerland, doing his commentating over in Switzerland for Racing Unleashed, but sadly he's currently stuck on a plane, so he'll probably be listening to us. And I think he got a little bit excited as well when we said that the servers were going down, maybe he could have raced. But either way, we are live here for Spa. Who else are we missing tonight? I believe we're missing Overtaker, Big Boy Brazier, and also, who else? I did have the list here, and that would be... At the minute, we're tentative for David. So at the minute, we don't know if David's going to join us. We are currently missing Gary131 at the minute. And I believe we're also missing another driver.
Someone's just dropped out. I'm just checking through the list.
Well, either way, we're here at Spa. Let's have a look at the championship standings. So obviously, regarding the first race here tonight, it will be a reversed grid of the championship standings. So obviously, when I read these out, this will be obviously a flipped version for when these guys go out. Obviously, some drivers not here. So let's see if these boys can figure out, because so far, Pro, Am, and Amateur have not done the best job of getting into order. But either way, the championship standings looks like this. Your defending champion is still leading the way. De Silva at the top of the table as he's 8 points ahead of his closest rival, who's not here tonight, Matimovic. He's currently away. Then it is T in the P3 in the other Audi. What can he do while Matt's away? Can he do anything about De Silva? Next is then David, who currently at the minute isn't here right now. So we move to the 5th place man, which is the Ripper. And already Ripper going to the top of the tables in his Audi. And he looks a little bit twitchy there, just trying to get comfortable in these wet conditions. Next is the man in 2nd place at the minute on track. It is this man, Fury, currently 6th in the championship. What can he do in the Lexus? A very stable car, especially in these wet conditions. A very, very underrated car. What can he do while some of these guys are away? P7 at the minute is the Wolfinator. Currently 9th on track at the minute, still yet set a lap time. What can he do in the McLaren? Again, a very stable car. A little bit OP on the PS4 version, but what can he do tonight? Then we have another McLaren, is Breeze, currently in 8th place in the championship, and the other man in 9th place at the minute is not in the server. It's Gary131 as Breeze has a big slide through the left-hander and drops the rear well out of the way of the Bentley coming around the final sector. After Gary131, then we have another Audi once again. It is Nexus, the 2.4-hour winner here at Spa. And what can he do? Obviously, he's got pace around here. He knows what he's doing around Spa. Can he get himself further up the grid tonight as he's P10 at the minute? P11, no Overtaker tonight. He will not be racing this evening. So we go to a P12, which is the man who's currently in the pits. P8 at the minute, Peaceful Explosion, currently in the pits. He is 12th in the championship, followed by his teammate, Emprava. He is 13th at the moment. And they are just ahead of the Ferrari driver of Euro, who I think is the man who's left the session. So hopefully Euro will be back into the session momentarily. As we do have a couple of glitches, hopefully they are people joining the session. After Euro, then we have Benno in the Bentley, currently going down into the middle sector. What can he do? Currently very, very close to the top 4 at the minute. 2 tenths separating the top 4. As Benno, what can he do? Not the best start to his last weekend out in Paul Ricard, but what can he do here at Spa? Then we got Shane, who is currently P6 on the track at the minute. Fury's teammate in the other Lexus. What can he do? Can he start bringing that gap down to Benno? Then we got Killer Camel, who really did not have the start to the season that he would have wanted. Currently down in 13th, still yet to set a lap time. And then we come to the 3 drivers that are still yet to make their debut, and here's one of them, Hitman in the 666, Aston Martin. What can he do? He will be starting on pole position at the minute, I believe. No, actually, sorry. It'll be Billow who will be starting on pole position. So if Hitman will be at least starting second place, this man's got a lot of pace underneath him. What can he do here tonight at Spa? And then finally, that does bring us to F1 Billow, who is in the Bentley, the number 22. Currently, he's 20th in the championship, just behind Big Boy Brazier. And what can he do with this Bentley around here? Meanwhile, the team championships, just like this, JWB Esports Racing, the Audi and the McLaren driver, 69 points ahead of Jaeger Motorsport, with 2 of the drivers not here at the minute. There's no Gary and there's no Matt at the minute, so no points for them as it stands. Killer Performance Motorsport currently P3, with SimPlay Racing in P4, Teletubby Motorsport in P5, with Button Basher Racing in P6. Neither of them here at the minute to score points. JWD Esports Racing is currently back of the pack. And meanwhile, regarding the manufacturers, because we always want to see how the manufacturers are getting on, McLaren lead the way, 419 points to their name, 150 ahead of Bentley. Ferrari in 3rd, Aston Martin in 4th, 5th is Porsche, 6th is Honda, 7th is Audi, 8th is Lexus, 9th is BMW, 10th is Mercedes, 11th is Lamborghini. And that is your manufacturers. That is the daily roundup of the championship. And once again, PN, we look to the top of the tables, and it's this man once again, De Silva, at the top in his McLaren, running the number 1. And let's briefly talk about this man. He put on a fantastic show at Paul Ricard. Really looked like he was in no real stresses whatsoever. As Das Automatic in the chat says evening. Oh, hello everybody as well. Let's hear from you guys in the chat. But De Silva, PN, what a start to his defense of his title this season.
Who can stop him? That's the question. That is the ultimate question, really. Who can stop him? He's just so calm with everything he does. And if you remember last season, that overtake around Fury and first chicane at Monza, yeah, that will stick with me for some time, that move. What a driver.
What a driver indeed. As we just coming to the back end of the practice session. Reminder as well, there'll be only like a minute qualifying, so these guys will not able to put a lap time together, but these guys will be then going straight into a reverse grid order, as I keep thinking the server's going to drop another driver in, but it doesn't. We are still
Euro's
missing, we got Euro back, we are still missing Gary 131, and I think we're missing one other driver as well. I'm not sure who, but either way, the reverse grid tonight, PN. Obviously, they got a long formation lap to do around here. The track takes about 2.5 minutes to get around in these wet conditions. Obviously, there's a poll at the minute. Are we ready to race tonight? Hit that yes or no button. More importantly, hit that like and subscribe button as well. The reverse grid, the first time we're going to be running it with the pros. Obviously, we've had a complete and utter mess of Pro-Am, yeah.
The Pro-Am wasn't too bad. It was just one driver out of position. Really, but Pro-Am was just a mess completely.
Well, obviously, hopefully these guys have learned where they're finished, and if they're not in the correct positions, reminder as well, the drivers will get penalised for it. So they're really going to need to start clamping down on this, because obviously a race starting procedure has to be fulfilled. And at the minute, the boys aren't doing it in AM and Pro-Am, so hopefully the pros can do it correctly. A reminder as well, I might as well just read it out while I'm here. So it will be F1 Billow who will be starting on pole position. Then it'll be Hitman in second. Killer Camel will start in P3. Then it'll be Shane in P4. 5th will go the way of Benno. Then it'll be 6th is Euro. 7th will be Naris Blavins. And 8th is Peaceful Explosion. In 9th will be Nexus in 10th will be Gary 131. Then it's Breeze in 11th. 12th will be Green Wolfinator. And then 13th will be Fury. Then it's the Ripper in 14th. And 15th will be David. 16th is Mr. T and De Silva bringing up the rear. And those are the two drivers who were missing. One of them has turned up. It is Gary at 131. The other one we're missing is David, who said he was under tentative. So if David doesn't turn up, it is literally just Mr. T and De Silva moves up to 15th and 16th place. Reverse grids. For the first time for the pros, PN, who do you think is going to really thrive from this one?
Well, they've got to survive at Rouge and Radion. And if it's the same greasy conditions as we've got now, that might be interesting. It might be worth hanging back and waiting to see what happens. So, it could be, well, you can't look past De Silva, really, can you?
No, but also you've got to look at the drivers that are starting more the front end of the grid. So the likes of Benno at the minute, who has gone fastest of all in the Bentley. With him having that clear air and Hitman as well, would they be able to just disappear into the distance while the leaders are too busy fighting against one another? Are they going to be benefiting from that? Also, regards to the track and what we're going to be seeing here, obviously the last few sessions we've had, it's been flooded. Obviously, we're still kind of getting to grips of learning how to run the servers with wet conditions, and tonight I think we've nailed it a little bit damp conditions. Obviously, with it cooling off or even the weather coming lighter or drier, we should possibly maybe see slicks, but obviously a lot of these guys will be setting up their cars either for the wet or slicks depending on what the weather does, surely.
Yeah, I was on slicks all night last night. I didn't go on wet, really go on wets.
That's the thing with this game as well. You can run those wet tires. You can the dry tires. They do take a little bit of work at trying to get them in the right window, but they do work. As De Silva goes faster again and goes top of the tables. As you hear, Hitman's trying to go around the outside of a McLaren, and that was the McLaren of the Wolfinator, who's gone wide as well. So both of those lap times will not count.
And Wolfie's just made contact with the barrier then as well.
So as it stands at this minute of the start of free practice, it is De Silva leading the way with Benno in second. Third is Hitman. He's now coming across the line. Obviously, this lap will not be validated. Ripper currently sitting in fourth with Mr. T currently in fifth. Sixth is Fury with seventh, Shane. Nexus is eighth, and everyone else still yet to set a lap time. Obviously, track limits here is very, what's the word?
Strict.
Oh, Mike has had a big moment. Peaceful explosion. The corner that caught him out in the 2.4 has just caught him out again, and he's gone round. Yeah, the track limits are very strict around here. Even on a league that I was racing on the other night, we ran Spa, and you really do have to be careful with Eau Rouge and Radion. That white line is the limits. The curbs even tell you, like, you can abuse a lot of the curbs. You can abuse the track limits, but it's just knowing what you can or can't abuse.
You're also coming out of Broadchemont. You do not want to run too wide, if not that, be track limits as well. Though, it might not be as strict with it being moist.
It will indeed. So, only really one thing to keep an eye on tonight, and the likely chance of it happening is pretty slim tonight. Gary 131 is one away from reaching his 25th pole position. Obviously, race one, he won't do it because obviously he will be in a reverse grid order. But race two, I think it's going to take a while for Gary 131 to get this 25th pole. Maybe in the Porsche Super Cup if he decides to enter it, as I'll try and pull his leg to try and do it. But yeah, we'll see what happens. As Hypo Tech is in the chat. Nice to see you in the chat, buddy. And let's hear from you guys. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to be notified. Give me and PN some things to discuss and chat about. One thing I've just been informed is obviously PN. The big news at the minute, obviously, is the submarine that's gone to go and look at the Titanic. Has been missing for a while.
They're dead.
Wow, I've just had something said to confirm that they've passed. So yeah, that's sad news to hear.
We're 2.5 miles under the sea if they're looking at the Titanic. So, and they would have run out of oxygen ages ago.
Would you have paid that amount of money to go and look at the Titanic?
No, I just watched the movie.
Leonardo DiCaprio, what a lad. Anyway, focus on tonight's race. Winner of race 1, I'm going to do a poll. Obviously, no racing in general anyway for Formula 1 or I think
Well,
actually...
we had the Canadian Grand Prix, didn't we? Have a weekend.
We did have the Canadian Grand Prix and
British touring cars.
British touring cars. Yeah, they were racing. They were at
British GTs, was that Snetterton?
isn't it the 24 hours of Spa soon?
Not this week, next week.
So it is coming up. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one as well. So regarding the things that are happening here tonight, there is not much going on at the minute as the guys are currently going through the last part of their practice session. Who's looking good at the minute for this race? Who do you think, with the current pace and the current look of the cars, who do you think is going to be the one to beat tonight?
Well, either De Silva, but I won't count out Benno because that Bentley looks quite stable. And Hitman, we did have an Aston Martin win race 1 last night in Pro-Am, even though it didn't show on screen because the game glitched.
Good old ACC.
It could be worse. It could be F122.
It could be, yes. Let's have one of the top guys in the championship. Let's have I don't know. Let's have the Ripper, shall we? Why not? Let's curse him.
This Curse Fury, he'll love us for that, won't he?
Well, I know Matt cursed this week, so but we didn't really curse him. Right, there is your poll. At the minute, guys, get your votes in on who you think is going to win the first race tonight. Is it going to be De Silva from the back of the pack, or is it going to be Hitman from the front, Killer Camel at the front as well, and the Ripper further back? Who is going to go that way? Already, De Silva gets 1 vote. PN, it's looking wet, it's looking greasy. There's no red flags just yet, so that's good to see. Peaceful's eventually going to put a lap time together. Will the Hondas actually put a lap time together? Because these two have been struggling with Eau Rouge and Radion, let's be honest. These two have not really found it very easy.
Don't let Impalava struggle with Eau Rouge and Radion anyway. In any car. In any car. Yeah, but the Honda doesn't like this place, I don't think. There's not enough grass for it to mow.
No, there's definitely not. It definitely didn't have any at Paul Ricard, so maybe this is his chance here. Right, let's have a look at the chat. Weather looks a little bit worse for wear at the minute than ours yesterday. Well, luckily for you, the Pro-Am boys had it relatively easy compared to these guys at the minute. It's still currently damp at the minute, but it is meant to be lightening up. Nexus has got a lap time on the board, as does Euro. So at the minute, 16 cars and only 9 have managed to get a lap time together. Where is the man who's chasing for his 25th pole position? Here he is, Gary 131 in the Porsche 911, and doing a little bit of research into ACC and how certain cars favour certain tracks, what to pick, what to choose. The Porsche is actually one of the cars that's not favoured for Spa. Why do we think that, PN? Because obviously the Porsche in general was quite a relatively good GT3 car, but for some reason around here it doesn't seem to be its strongest.
Horsepower, probably. More than likely horsepower.
Yeah, it's not
Even
the fat.
But they should all be relatively the same when they're BOP'd, which they will be for the Spa 24 in 2 weeks' time. In the real world.
I think with the Porsche, it's a very twitchy car. It likes to turn in, likes to hit the apex. It likes to have a nice front end, obviously due to the engine being in the rear. And I think Gary here is just going to struggle on pure raw pace down the back straight. I know obviously the new cars for the ACC PC update, the 992, is very similar to this car, just a little bit more stable, but it's still not very good top end speed. As Gary crosses the line, does he get a lap time on the board? No, he does not.
They've probably, with the 992, they've probably moved the engine like where it is on the RSR GTE car, which is in front of the rear axle, so it's more mid-engined than it is on the original GT3s.
Still a good looking Beetle though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I have a soft spot for a 911. I mean, I've got the 911 GT1 car sitting in front of me right now. Put that one Le Mans in 1998. Not the real car. model.
Two of my championships on Project Cars was in a 911, so I'm very fond of this car as well. As Killer Camel currently the only one on a lap time. My Ferrari was fine up Eau Rouge, apart from the one time the Ferrari I find on the straights, the pace, and had to be careful on the curbs, says Hype Tech. Yeah, I think the curbs here can be quite lethal, especially in the wet conditions. But most of them, like I said, you can abuse and use. As Nausea in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, can't play me lucky. He did. That was quite close as well. Race 1, I can't really remember much because I got into 6th on the road, but it was actually 7th, and it was like being on an island all by myself.
Right, as Killer Camel now comes into the final corner, guys, get your votes in on who you think is going to win race 1 tonight. Currently 9 votes at the minute. And that practice session is over. We're now got to a minute qualifying, but there's really no point in these guys even going out attempting qualifying, because we will be heading into a reverse grid order. David hasn't turned up, so that means that De Silva and T will be moving up a position. So let us have a look at the running order. It will be this man who will start on pole position. It will be F1 Billow. He will start on pole. Then it'll be Hitman. Then it's Killer Camel in P3. Actually, I'm going to redo that so they can clearly hear what I'm saying. It is F1 Billow on pole position, P1. P2 will go the way of Hitman. P3 will be Killer Camel. P4 will be Shane. And then P5 is Benno. P6 is Euro. P7 is Enprava. P8 is Peaceful Explosion. P9 will be Nexus. And P10 will be Gary131. Then it'll be Breeze in 11th place, with Green Wolfinator starting 12th, with Fury in 13th. The Ripper will start 14th. Then it will be T, who moves up to 15th. And De Silva will start in 16th place position. Right, hopefully they've understood that, and hopefully we can get them in the correct order. A reminder as well that F1 Billow will have to pretty much control the pace. He can't just disappear into the distance. He will obviously have to take his time and bunch the pack up. It's easier to probably get the pack bunched up right at the beginning instead of trying to get temperature, try and get all that going, because you might as well just save that for the final sector once everybody is in the correct order.
Yeah, like last night I literally just sat there and let everyone go past, so I got into a good place. I went, right, Argent's in front of me, Brins behind me. Perfect. Done.
Well, these guys now currently sorting out their setups. They're getting themselves ready for this half-an-hour race. A reminder as well that the pit window will open up at around 20 minutes, and they'll have a 10-minute pit window. I can't remember. It's been a week. I've been asleep since then. So these guys have to pit in that window. Obviously, teammates can pit under the same time, and they don't want to jump in the start PN because it will get any track limits, because this pit lane is long.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. It's like we use the stuff F1 start-finish straight, right? We don't have 40 million cars doing this race like they do in Spa 20 in 4 hours. Why are we starting down the downhill bit into Eau Rouge and Radion?
Well, like I said, on the PC version, you can get up to 60 cars, so you can actually use all the pit stops. So more for PC, less so for obviously here on PS4. Right, hopefully everybody has made sure they've read it up. Yes, they have. Right, we now look to F1 Billow. He will be leading them away. He is at the back of the park. Let's see if these guys are able to do it better than the rest of the guys. So, F1 Billow will start on pole position. I really hope that these guys have my stream go so they can hear this. F1 Billow on pole when he moves to the front. Yes, he does. Boom. One driver to the front. Then Hitman needs to move back a pace, because at the minute it's just single files for the minute. Then it should be Killer Camel in P3. So let's have a quick look. Killer Camel. There he is. Is he lined up into P3 position? He's slowly working his way up. I believe so. He's just got to get himself ahead of Shane. There he does so. Shane should be in P4, and that he is. Then it's Benno. That is correct. And then finally we should have Euro, who's now got himself in the correct position also. So far, so good. And Plava is in the next position with Peaceful Explosion just behind him. My camera is taking its time to sort itself out. Yes, there they are. They're in the correct position. And then they should have Nexus. And Nexus, there he is. Gary131 should then start between him. And then Breeze should be behind Gary131, which he is. Then it's the Wolfinator, who is just behind Breeze in the other McLaren. And then we have Fury in the Lexus, and he is in the correct position. Then we have the Ripper. Where's the Ripper? There he is, just behind Fury, with T just behind him. And there is T. And bringing up the rear is De Silva. Pro boys, you have done me proud. This is how you do it. And Pro-Am, boom. Done. And now all these guys can now get themselves ready for the race sequence. Get their tyres up to temperature. Get their brake pressures right. Let's see how this goes. PN, that was pretty impressive from the pros. They managed to get it pretty much done before the end of Sector 2.
Yeah, I'm wondering how many of these guys have started on wets because it's now greasy.
It is
And
now
then
greasy
wets
conditions.
Will not last a lap before you are at 40 psi and they're going to go pop. That's Nozzer and Hypertech last night.
Well, if they were watching, they would have seen that. But right now, Hitman's making quite a bit of a gap between him and Billo. So Billo at the minute opting to pull away a little bit, but obviously he's got to stick to a delta anyway. He can't go any faster. So the pack will now have to start bunching up and start getting themselves into side-by-side order. As we see here, Billo now coming into the final sector. This is where they should start now feeding into the side-by-side formation. So in comes Hitman, as they will hopefully now start to go side-by-side.
It'll be double file just on the exit of Stavolo, where they are now.
Ah, okay. So double file. So F1 Billo moves to one side. Now everyone else, obviously being the lead car, you get to choose which side you want to start. And obviously here at Spa, it's not really much of a difference. Obviously either side's got a bit of marbles on it, but either way, pros.
What marbles? It's wet.
Yeah, you want the marbles, to be fair.
Yeah, ask Michael Schumacher '96 at Catalonia when he won that race in that dog of a Ferrari that was the F10. F310.
Right. We're about to get underway. The pros have done me proud here. Now it is down to F1 Billo to back the pack up a little bit more. Let's get these side-by-sides looking absolutely glorious right now. A lot of them aren't actually in double file. A lot of them are single file. But either way, that's their fault. As they're all trying so hard to get tyre temperature, it will be F1 Billo who will start the sequence. Obviously, we think we're going to go racing now, but we're not. It'll be down the old start-finish straight. Billo on pole position. PN, who is your vote? Who do you think is going to win race one? Get yours in, because obviously so far it's 1-1. Actually, no, I get my vote first. Actually, I get my vote because you won the last one. I'm going to go Hitman for this one.
Yeah, I've got a soft spot because that's an Aston Martin, so Hitman.
We can't go the
Aston
same.
Ferrari.
We can't go the same.
Oh, well, as we've not actually seen him, I want to go Billo.
Well,
Because we
Billo,
haven't actually seen what his pace is like. Well, I haven't, anyway.
nor have I. Billo on pole position alongside Hitman as they head towards Eau Rouge Radion. The race start initialized, ready to get going here as we're about to go green here at Spa. And we are green and away we go. And already Hitman's got the jump on Billo as they head up towards turn 1 and 2. And they really got to be careful as they go up the hill. Relatively good by most people. We'll go back to De Silva. And pretty much everyone survived Eau Rouge Radion. Fantastic job from the pros as we will head towards the first sector times. As you can see at the back, De Silva really starting to make some headway towards the front. But Hitman clear away at the front. But he's got Killer Camel coming towards as well, who goes into turn 4. And they're all just slowly trying to work their way through. Benno's gone round. Who's made contact?
Ripper and De Silva made contact into Lacoon.
So far, so good, though. Yeah, so far so good. There's been no contact, no real bad driving so far, as Killer Camel is really helping Hitman out at the minute, allowing him to disappear. Killer Camel holding up everybody else as Benno now moves up into P3 and really hustling the back of that Lexus. Oh, Shane's in the wall. He's had a moment. He's going to stay to the left-hand side. And everyone floods past him. Great driving there from Shane just to make sure he didn't get back on track too dangerously. As Gary 131 is looking to make a move on Emplava.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Euro's right-hand side's got a bit of like paintwork scuff, so maybe he might make contact with Shane as Gary runs wide into Fangio.
More importantly, Benno's down the inside of Killer Camel. He's trying to get the job done on the Lexus, the Bentley. Oh, and the Bentley and the Lexus come together. They still keep facing the right way, though, and Killer Camel's going to try and hold it strong around the outside. But meanwhile, while all these guys have been scrapping, Hitman's disappeared into the distance, 2.5 up the road. He'd benefit of the reverse grid. Here comes the other Bentley of F1 Billow. He's right on the rear wing of the Lexus. Meanwhile, Nexus minding his own business up into P5. He's worked his way up the order relatively quickly. As we see there, Benno runs very wide as he's got Peaceful Exposure not too far behind as well. So, great start from Most as Emplava runs a little bit wide. Gary 131 under pressure from Fury, who's got De Silva following him right behind him. Fury going to the outside of the bus stop chicane, and he gets the job done. Beautiful stuff there from Fury. He'll then have the inside for the next corner, and down the start finish straight we go. As Gary 131 looks to try and come back as Euro is coming to the pits. Has he got major damage, or has this been a drive-through? We would have been notified if it was a drive-through. Or is he going to slicks?
He is on wet, so yeah, he's probably gone to slicks. I just looked at the in-game bit. I could actually have a look whilst you carry on, Dan, to see who's on what tyres.
Well, Shane at the back of the pack at the minute as they all go through Eau Rouge and Radion. That is basically the survive round. That is just to get through there. Gary 131 has got a train behind him. He's got the likes of De Silva and Breeze. He's just got McLarens everywhere. Here comes the Audi of the Ripper. He looks to the inside of Gary 131, but De Silva is still there. And De Silva works his way through, but Ripper can't find a way through. Gary's just getting swamped at the minute by all the McLarens. The only one that didn't get through was Wolfinator.
Indeed, as I think most of them are on dries, which would have been the correct choice because the wets just overheat so quick.
And the rain is meant to be fading out as Benno is on a mission to try and catch Hitman. 2.3 is the gap. Killer Camel currently P3. Nexus is now looking to try and hustle the back of Killer Camel. Nexus could really do with some good points here and try and work his way up through the championship. Peaceful Explosions have a solid round at the minute. As I saw a car go round, that is Fury and that is Billow, both in the wall. And Fury having contact there with the Bentley.
A lot of damage on Billow's Bentley, a lot of damage.
There is a lot of damage indeed. He's trying to nurse it back to the pits. He's got 5 minutes really to survive and the pit window will open. Hitman though is losing time to Benno. Benno is improving his lap times ever so slightly. Meanwhile, he is away. Possibly the slick tyres there has been put on his car and really anticipated the conditions here, I think, has Euro. Meanwhile, Emplava and Peaceful Explosion, so far so good for the Honda drivers. At the minute, P5 and 6 as they're trying to hunt down Nexus. They've actually got decent pace on Nexus at the minute. But we cross the line to start lap 2, and Benno has brought the gap down to 1.9. He's slowly creeping onto the back of the leader, Hitman. And meanwhile, we've got the Ripper and De Silva going at it side by side up towards turn 1. The Ripper going to the outside in the Audi. Who's braver on the brakes? The Audi tries to go around the outside. Ripper is trying to get the job done. He's going to go for the undercut, but the McLaren stays in front at the minute. De Silva showing why he is a champion. And right now, he has got the Audi right up behind him.
Billow's in the pits to fix this damage. By the look of things, and now we've got to wait another minute before you get to the pit stall.
As I could take a swig of drink there as the Ripper now is looking to attack De Silva up into turn 4 as Fury's just trying to stick with him, but I just think De Silva seems to have more downforce on the car than the Ripper, and Ripper's once again very little downforce on that Audi. He looks to the inside but thinks better of it and backed out of that one. Fury now looking to pounce. He's on the backside of the Ripper and he's looking to try and make a move. Meanwhile, further back, T is out of contact with Shane. Shane's gone round, and T, is he just waiting for Shane at the minute? Shane's got going.
No, he's driving away.
Oh, De Silva's in the wall.
Oh no, that don't happen very often.
It does not happen very often. He just had a slight wiggle and he grazed the wall ever so slightly, and that has allowed the Ripper and Fury to go through. De Silva has ran wide. Has he got tyre problems? He's struggling here to get the car turned in. Now he's got Gary 131 coming back at him.
De Silva's
why.
on wets.
So really, he's going to have to try and survive until the pit window.
You'd probably have to pit because they're going to balloon and go pop.
Not good. Meanwhile, the SimPlay Racing boys are busy racing one another. And Bravo's brought the gap down to 3/10 to his teammate. Peaceful Explosion. They're coming up to the left-hander that they always seem to struggle with. Can they survive it this time round? Here they come to the fast left-hander. Oh, Mike has a little twitch, but they survive. Emprava, is he thinking about attacking his teammate, or is team orders already in play? He thinks better of it.
Camel's round at bus stop.
He is around. He needs to safely return back on track, and I think he does the best he possibly could in that situation. And back on track he goes. He loses out to his teammate there. The Ripper goes past. And now
Pillows, I think, could be in the pit box for a very long time. Just De Silva carries on. He doesn't pit off his wets. It'll be interesting to see what PSI they are. They must be close to about 40 PSI.
He probably is struggling ever so slightly. Meanwhile, Hitman is starting to get caught by Benno. Benno in the Bentley has dropped Nexus. Nexus is next to nowhere to these guys at the minute. They're long gone up the road, as Peaceful Stepdad in the chat saying good luck all and good evening everybody. Nice to see you in the chat. But Benno is on a move. He's looking to try and hit Hitman at the minute and try and get him on his radar. Peaceful in a solid P4 at the minute. He's ahead of Emprava, but right now they're all stuck behind the 2.4 winner of Nexus, who's currently P3 at the minute.
He is indeed, and I was only lapped once in that 2.4 hour race. Not bad for a Pro-Am driver on a pad.
I was lapped multiple times, even though I was in a GT4. So.
Oh, Nexus is wide through no name corner, or X as it's called now.
No name's better. More importantly, Emprava is under some massive pressure from Breeze right now. I feel his pain, says Hype Tech. Well, right now, the only thing De Silva can do is just nurse his tyres and try and get them to the pit window. Meanwhile, Breeze is on the attack on the Honda to the outside of the Latvian of Naras Pravins. Can he find a way through? Breeze unable to do so. And Emprava is now starting to make a little train here as the faster boys are coming through. Currently, the votes have gone the way of De Silva. 45% of you reckon he's going to win. 27% of you reckon it's the Ripper. 18% reckon it's Hitman. And 9% reckons it will be Killer Camel. Killer Camel in this squabble right now. But your race leader at the minute is still Hitman, with Benno in second. Nexus currently in P3, but he's lost a little bit of time to Peaceful Explosion, who's slowly creeping onto the back of him. He's touched that curb that he's not really meant to touch. Emprava currently P5. He's got the Ripper breathing down his neck, so Breeze in P7. Killer Camel P8. 9th is Fury, and De Silva on those dodgy wets in 10th. Green Wolfinator in 11th. Gary 131 in 12th. T currently in 13th place. Shane in 14th, as F1 Below has come back out, but he is a couple of laps down. And Euro at the back of the pack.
De Silva is now in the pits. He's getting rid of them wets.
This is not going well for him.
No. But, ooh, would it count as mandatory? Because he's still not at his pit box yet, and he's in the pit lane.
We will see. I don't actually know. This is all new to us. We don't know what's going to happen here. So we'll keep an eye on De Silva. Has he just pulled an absolute blinder? That is the question. Meanwhile, we got this great scrap going on. Nexus and Peaceful Explosion, and then just behind him, everybody else for Emprava.
Emprava's like 2.5 behind his teammate, so, and acting like the bottle top right now. As Ripper was right on the curb through. I can't remember. I haven't got my book to tell me the corner names. Where's Jamie when you need him?
where is Jamie? He should be racing really, but either way, he is not here. We've just had a screeched. Has a car gone round? It has gone round. It's Fury who's had a moment, and through goes a car, I think. I'm not sure which one. Ah, yes. Who is that? That is Killer Camel who's gone through. So maybe those two have had contact, possibly.
Euro's back in the pits to complete his mandatory pit stop.
It's a painful race already for those guys who've already put it on the wets. Right now, Emprava doing a fantastic job of holding up Ripper and Breeze right now. It's really helping Peaceful, but Killer Camel can't seem to find a way through. Meanwhile, Hitman has lost a lot of time. 1.1 at the minute, separating him and Benno, but I think that's going to come even closer because Benno can sniff an opportunity for a win here as they head towards the chicane. And right now, Hitman continues on, but Benno pits.
De Silva's stop did not count because he was already on pit road when the window opened. So he's got to come back in again.
De Silva, oh no. Rookie error there as Nexus now comes to the final chicane and Peaceful Explosion pits. So are these boys going for the undercut, fresh tyres to try and get themselves out? Meanwhile, Hitman, with no pressure now behind him, can he focus on working his way through the order? As Emprava pits with his teammate, as does Breeze. This just opens the door for Ripper to really rip things up and try and catch the leaders.
Fury's also in the box. Well, eventually.
We've got a lot of cars coming in.
We just hit the wall in the pit lane. Fury, I caught that on my end, on my cameras.
Everybody,
coming out.
Pretty much everybody, but Gary131, Wolfinator, Killer Camel, Ripper, Nexus, and your race leader, Hitman, are all out on track while everyone else is in the pits. Euro currently has done his pit stop, but he is a couple of laps down. So, not to start to the night he wanted.
No, but it's always race 2.
Yeah, there definitely is always race 2, so a bit of testing and making sure how the car feels. No real close fights at the minute. Benno was the first car to come into the pits. So when is he going to be released? That is the question. He has finally come to a stop. We know how long this pit lane is. So at the minute, all good so far for this man, Hitman. As we come up to the halfway stage, I will end the poll there. And at the minute, most of you think De Silva is going to win this. I don't think that's going to happen now. Come on, guys, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And if you like anything here at SimPlay Motorsport, then please head over to our Discord page, our Facebook page, and head over to SimGrid as well. And get yourself signed up on the grid as Benno now completes his pit stop. Off he goes as he will now come out of the pit lane.
He cut pit line. He's had 2 wheels over the line. Tut tut.
Well, drivers had been informed and warned about crossing the white line.
And that's any other white line in the pit lane. Because
Emplava's done it. Emplava's done it. So all these boys at the minute just crossing that white line when they're not supposed to.
Indeed, and they were told. We've had a few in Pro-Am and Am as well that were doing it. So, and that's Mr. T doing it as well.
Fury now exits pit lane. Is he now going to join the club? How many penalties are we going to serve up here?
No, Fury was okay.
Fury was okay. Who was out in front of him? That was Billow, and they've come right in the pathway of Hitman, who's decided to stay out. Ripper has come into the pits though. Will Wolfinator come in? No, he stayed out. Gary131 is in, going to drive the Tom Cruise in Days of Thunder. Says Hype Tech, as he says, a huge comeback from De Silva. I really don't think that's going to happen now. De Silva's in the pits, so he's probably going to throw this race out the window. So.
Even the few points he gets for 14th is better than nothing.
Definitely so. It's definitely going to be a point-C night for De Silva. He really just needs to make sure that he scores some points and obviously get to the end, because obviously it really does come down to the smallest points. His closest rival was T, who's only P11 at the minute. as his other rival is Ripper, who's currently in the pits. As Daz
Don't
Automatic
matter,
says,
Daz.
harsh on pits entry, it's so bumpy. Well,
The rules are you don't cross that line. You don't cross that line.
so right now, Hitman has got relatively clean air. He's got a couple of cars behind him. What do you think his game plan is? He's got to think about pitting soon. He's got probably 2 laps in him. He needs to be at least in pit lane by before the pit window closes.
Oh,
So
Billow just returned to pits. He did. I just saw him right behind the Ripper.
So is Billow having a struggle night so far? He needs to obviously get back out on track, or else this will class as a retirement.
Ripper's fine. Now for Gary.
Gary 131. Let's see him attack the.
Hitman is in the pits.
Right, so Benno's up into turn 1. Where's Peaceful? There he is. He is now starting to become under pressure from Ripper. Ripper with that 1 lap advantage. The undercut hasn't worked so far for him. Where's Gary 131? Gary has cleared the pit lane and has not got a infringement for that. As T goes around the outside of him, and obviously cold tyres for him will be kicking in right now, as pretty much everybody now coming into the pits, with the last few in here, as Euro I think is in the pits again.
Billow's quit, so that's 1 retirement.
1 retirement for Billow, so next week he will not be able to qualify for the next race, which is Catalonia. My interesting fight now to see is how Peaceful would deal with the pressure of Ripper ripping up the track. He's pretty much come from the back of the pack with De Silva. De Silva's had a shocker overnight so far. He's got more damage as well, so it looks like he's really struggling in these greasy conditions. So Shane's going to gain some points. Fury at the minute has lost out due to obviously repairing the damage, but he's had a moment again. Look at the side of that car. That car has been abused. Meanwhile, Gary 131 is still on the back of T. Gary needs to get some temperature in the tyres, but right now all the Audi boys looking relatively good so far, as Hitman is in the pits, as Nexus has come to a stop. Killer Camel is not too far behind them either, as is the Wolfinator as well. Where is Benno? He is now into turn 1, but he goes very, very wide. That's track limits there, as Hitman's been given the green flag. Off he goes. This is going to be a close one, PN, as Benno now comes down the main street. Hitman is off the limiter, as Benno will be up to speed quicker. They go up the hill. Benno crosses the white line, so he's going to get a 30-second time penalty.
Hitman crossed the white line as well.
So Benno now leads this race, as Nexus now comes out of the pits. Is he going to get jumped by Peaceful Explosion and Ripper? Yes, he is. Peaceful is staying ahead of Nexus, and Nexus returns back on track, and he loses out massively to the 2 in front.
Yeah. Did he have any damage? Camel's couple of white line as well. It's track limits at the end of the day.
So Peaceful Explosion now has got the titanic task of keeping the Ripper behind him. Meanwhile, Nexus runs a little bit wide. That's giving Plava an invitation down the inside into the right-hander. And Nexus is just hanging in there around the outside, and he just keeps hold of that position. Meanwhile, Ripper is really starting to pester a Peaceful Explosion.
Yeah. Can Peaceful do it? Can play and not do a pirouette? No, he's ran wide, and Ripper's down the inside through Puon.
And Peaceful's going to try and fight back. He's going to stay down the inside, but Ripper's going to go all the way around the outside, and he gets the job done. Great move there from Ripper. Set him up through Puon and then into the chicane. But he has a wiggle, and that's going to allow Peaceful to possibly come back at him.
And we've missed it. Hitman's just gone back in front of Benno.
He has. So how has that happened? Benno was leading this race, and now Hitman is in front. We go back to Ripper and Peaceful, this is the final podium position. I think Ripper has probably got that one sewn up now.
Yeah, let's see how hard he can push.
Yeah, it's going to take him a while to catch on to the back of Benno and Hitman, but if these two are squabbling, then they might have an opportunity here as well. As I just want to double check something. Just want to double check.
De Silva's got damage on his car, so De Silva's been off again. He has, while I talk amongst you.
Well, actually, I just realised something. Benno and Hitman are teammates.
Oh!
JWB Esports Racing 1 and 2. This is why I don't like the same car, the opposite cars. I can't remember who's who.
At least there's some teams that run the same car.
Not quite. One's brown and one's, you know, green and blue. As Benno straight lines the chicane there, so he seems to be struggling. Ripper has just dropped Peaceful Explosion, and Plava is still hustling the back of Nexus. That's really your closest fight at the minute. Gary's just lost touch on T, but De Silva having a shocker so far.
Yeah, he is. He's got quite a bit of damage. I think he's just going to nurse that car home for the final 8 minutes. That's all he can do.
Yeah, he's just got to try and pick up the points, pick up and learn from his mistakes of this race. But right now,
I'll put wets on a greasy track.
Nexus is still trying to defend from Emplava.
Yep, this is actually the closest battle on track right now. Is Nexus and Empalava.
And like I said, Nexus a 2.4 winner here at Spa. Can he deal with the pressure of the Honda breathing down his neck? Obviously very, very different conditions there. The Audi was driven in the dry. Right here it is greasy, wet conditions. As Ripper, I think now has definitely extended his gap to Peaceful Explosion. So that threat has gone for him. Yeah, it's near enough 3 seconds now. So Ripper has ripped off into the distance. Meanwhile, while these two are too busy squabbling, who's catching him in the background? It's Breeze in the McLaren. He's not a million miles away either. So what can he do in these last few moments here? All big points for these guys. But right now, the man who would be very happy at the minute is Ripper, who's P3 at the minute, and his closest rival, De Silva, down in 14th.
Yeah, well, it's also a battle brewing between Wolfie and Camel for lowly P8.
There is indeed. We go back to the Breeze. Nexus and Emplava. Emplava go very wide. Breeze was about to, what I was about to say, but he has turned up to the scene as well. He's now 6/10 behind Emplava. So Emplava is going from attacking to now looking in his mirrors, but Nexus has gone very wide at the hairpin. Is that going to give Emplava a sniff opportunity down the back straight? Here we go towards Eau Rouge and Radion, as also Killer Camel is on the attack of Wolfinator. But Emplava right now is right on the back of that Audi. He's got a lovely slipstream, but I don't think that Honda has got the top speed.
Oh, there's a bit of track limits for Rouge and Radion between both Wolfie and Camel then. So that'd be interesting if that would be pulled in. But Camel's looking left and looking right to try to get past the bright green McLaren. God, I think the McLaren's boring.
Meanwhile, Emplava down the inside of the Audi, down towards the hairpin. It just bounces over the curb, and then Nexus just gives him some space. Emplava go door to door as they now head into No Name. Emplava's going to try and go around the outside of No Name. Nexus just pushes him wide. Emplava stays there. He's on the outside of Puan. Here comes Breeze. Nexus is not obviously having to defend from a Honda. He has to defend from a McLaren. As they now head towards Puan, and Nexus survives. Breeze down the inside of Emplava, and Emplava, from attacking, has now lost the position.
Oh, that's a bit unfortunate, but maybe he could use Breeze to pry that door open with
Killer Camel.
Nexus.
Killer Camel now to the outside of the McLaren. Can he get the job done around the outside, just like his teammate did on Peaceful Explosion? And they make contact.
He hit him. He's spun him around and he's not waited. So that'll be going in the stewards. As Euro's in a lap car in this, and look like he's got quite a bit of pace now.
Breeze is now Breeze is on the outside of Nexus as they head towards the final sector, towards the bus stop they come. And right now, Breeze looking to the outside. Can he get the job done? No, he has to lift out and bail on that one. But Nexus has gone very, very wide. Track limits has to be on their limits now as Nexus holds on to the bus stop chicane. But here comes Emprava in the Honda. Oh my god, this is a great scrap for the 5th and 2nd. Nexus has gone wide. Breeze will get the job done on the outside. He now tucks in to get the slipstream. Breeze to the front of the pack. Emprava on the outside of Nexus. Nexus towards the hairpin we go. Breeze has to try and react to him, but he blocks off the apex. And Breeze takes 2 cars in 1. And Emprava now gets ahead of Nexus. So Nexus has literally just been mugged. Emprava hasn't gained a position, he's just maintained his position as Breeze makes 2 places as Nexus here has so much more confidence over Rouge and Radio. He just straight lines it, but he has stayed behind Emprava, so he has given that time back. But what great racing between these 3.
Oh yeah, I'm just watching Ripper right now. He is gaining time, hands over fist over Benno. He is hunting down that Bentley.
Nexus has hit Emprava. Has Emprava managed to get going? No, not yet, as he stalled the car. Nexus has to get going soon because Killer Camel is coming. Here he comes, so Emprava loses out to Killer Camel. Meanwhile, Nexus has to pretty much yield to Emprava, but Killer Camel is going to gain a position, but Killer Camel also made contact to Wolfinator. So Nexus to the outside, Killer Camel to the inside. And Killer Camel can't get the job done. Meanwhile, Emprava, how much damage has he got? We look to the Ripper, and like you said, PN, he is flying. 4.5 at the minute is the gap between him and Benno. A car has returned to piss. That is T. He's had a shock of a race so far. He's hit the top of Eau Rouge and Radion. Meanwhile, Benno is still under pressure from the Ripper, who's flying at the minute. It's 2.5. He's gained 2 seconds in 1 sector.
Oh. It's on for second. I don't know if there's not enough time to get first because they're literally probably on the last lap once Hitman crosses the line.
Most likely, as right now Killer Camel is trying everything he can to get past Nexus, but Nexus obviously making contact with Emprava. And as they say, Emprava is really trying to push away through as Hitman has now started his final lap. A solid 10 seconds ahead of Benno, sorry, 11 seconds as Ripper has brought it 2 seconds a sector. He's brought down a 6-second gap in 1 lap. Benno is really struggling here.
He is indeed. But for final lap, Benno's got his headlights ablaze. You need to turn your wipers on and go faster. They are on.
Right now, we look to the Killer Camel and Emprava. They're still not quite able to clear Nexus as they head towards turn 1. We head back to Benno. Ripper really pushing his way through the track limits of the Eau Rouge and Radion as they now come down the back straight as Benno trying to break the toe as Ripper looks to the outside. Benno lets him go.
Ripper's passed. 12 seconds though, in a minute.
Well, he's got to try and survive because Peaceful Explosion, he's only 6 seconds behind. He would get himself back on the podium. Meanwhile, we head back to the... Oh, Emprava's in the wall!
Oh, what's happened there with Emprava?
Killer Camel's lost pace as well, so I don't know if Killer Camel and Emprava have come together again. Sorry, that's Wolfinator and Camel. But Nexus is going to hold off this scrap, I think. Emprava has come off the worst out of all that.
I reckon they either that or Ains' history with Rouge and Radion kicked in again and he lost it. He will never live that down, losing that in that 24-hour race on PC.
No, they won't. T right now does have to come out on track and finish the race, so he does not get a qualifying ban. So he does have to come out and finish the race at least. So right now, T is sitting in the pits. He's currently retired. He will need
just
to come
went
out.
round before poo on. I just saw a brief yellow.
Meanwhile, we are on board with your race winner. So towards the line, here he comes, Hitman, and he hits the ground running. His first event here at SimPlay Motorsport. He did start from the front row, but what can he do in race 2? Hitman comes home and he wins round 3, a different winner. It is Hitman who crosses the line and wins the race. Ripper though, what a drive from the back of the pack as De Silva crosses the line in P13, unlucky 13 for some, as here comes Ripper towards the line. He will finish P2. What a drive from him. Great stuff from him. Benno will come home in P3. We're not sure what happened because Peaceful was catching him very quickly.
Peaceful's catching him as well.
Yeah, as Breeze will now exits the final corner, he will come back through to a 5th place position. I'm sure he'll be happy with that one. As Nexus and Killer Camel going at it into the final chicane. Killer Camel goes deep. Sorry, Nexus goes deep, but Killer Camel is going to finish ahead on roads. But obviously a penalty possibly looming over the contact with Wolfinator. So it's Killer Camel P6, 7th is Nexus, 8th is Wolfinator, 9th will be M Prava. Gary 131 is going to come home in 10th. Euro has finished and finished in 15th place position. T is not coming out, so he will get a qualifying ban for next week. Gary 131 is coming into the final chicane. He will finish in P10 with Shane not too far behind him, and Fury a night to forget so far for him. He will finish in 12th place position. But it is this man, Hitman, your race 1 winner. A great start for his championship, as he did miss round 1. He's here for Spa. He's come. He's dominated race 1. What can he do in race 2 with the qualifying? But PN, what a great way to start. And Hitman pretty much had that under control, bar one moment when he came out of the pits behind his teammate.
Yeah, he did, yeah. And, well, it might be some things in the steward's office, so the stewards might be busy after this, especially with Camel getting a bit rough, and I just took a screenshot of the race results so I can send them to Matt later.
Indeed, as that is your race 1 done. We will be back momentarily as we will then have the next race up and ready for race 2, as they will have a qualifying session. But it is this man, Hitman, who wins race 1. We shall see you guys.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was spoiling when I watched the elevate.
Below, on below.
I was spoiling when I watched the elevate.
I've got a screen, so I'll send them out as well. Oh, Benno was on wet brakes. So, yeah, he got run at brakes if he wasn't at that word. See, I did a blinder. I took my dry set up in and just turned the TC up. Took my brave pill. I'll stay on the slicks. Oh look, I got temperature after the formation.
All in when I show up. Whole place about to blow up.
Oh, well, apparently they can hear us.
I'm in first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave.
Yeah, they can.
Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born when I watched me elevate. I was born when I watched me elevate.
broken dreams in my pocket. Golden thing round my neck like a locket. Carve your name in my mind, 'cause you caught it. You caught it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street like at the so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine just so that I could show you. You're golden. Yeah, you're golden. You're golden. Yeah, you're golden. Golden. When we meet, hold my hand in the darkness. Summer heat, bodies laid on the carpet. Eye to eye, glistening, no, I saw it. I saw it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street like at the so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine just so that I could show you. You're golden. Yeah, you're golden.
when I aim up. Elevating that game up. Stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate.
Dumbass.
You've not unmuted us, have you?
I'm so used to Matt doing it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsport. I really am struggling with these live streams at the minute. I will get there eventually. It's all new to me, but we are live. We are back here for the second race as we are about to get underway for the qualifying session. We have seemed to appear to have lost a driver. We've lost two. We've lost F1 Billow. I'm not sure who the other one is, but at the minute they're currently not in the session. But it is your championship leader currently out leading the pack at the minute. It is De Silva, but PN, this is going to be an interesting one because after that race, the championship is already spicing up. The championship has come down to 1 point already. De Silva leads the way from Ripper in second, with Matinovic still in third. P4 is Wolfenator. He moves himself up the order with T currently in P5. Obviously he retired, so he didn't score any points in that one. Breeze in P6, Fury P7, P8 is David, not here tonight, racing. Peaceful Explosion gets himself further up the grid. He's up halfway up the grid in P9 with Nexus in P10. Gary 131 in P11 with Benno in P12. And Brava P13 with Nexus, Hitman in P14. A good start for him. Can he get himself up in that top half as well? Another race win that will get him on 50 points and clear most of the pack. Euro is in P15 with Overtaker in 16th. Killer Camel currently on 17th place on 19 points. And Shane on 15. Big Boy Brazier and Billow F1 still yet to get off the mark. Regarding the team championships, JWB Esports 2 is leading away on 82 points ahead of Killer Performance Motorsport, 4 behind them, with Jaeger Motorsport further 5 points further back. With SimPlay Racing with solid points there, they're 15 points behind. With JWB Esports, they're only 25 behind them. With Teletubby Motorsport 28 points behind, and Button Bashers with 62 points behind. And the McLaren extends its championship lead 167 points ahead of the Bentley, Ferrari, Aston Martin, Porsche, Honda, Audi, Lexus, BMW, Mercedes and Lamborghini. And at the minute, we haven't had a lap time set. We've got 15 minutes of qualifying. It is greasy, wet conditions, but obviously due to the practice session being dry, it's whoever can get out and set the fastest laps. Now, for some reason, my controller isn't charging, so give me a moment while I change controller.
You disappeared? Oh, I just heard myself.
And we're back.
Yeah, it's Hitman that's left, and Shane cannot qualify, and he's out there doing a lap.
Oh yeah, that's a reminder. Shane,
Benno and Camel.
Yeah,
Jamil.
so Shane needs to return back to pits if he is listening. Obviously due to retiring last week. Where is it?
Yeah. I don't know if you see Discord. Yeah, we've lost Hitman, so don't know why. He hasn't said anything in Discord yet on why, unless he's got to go to work.
We will figure that out soon as well. We got currently a poll out for you guys at the minute to get your votes in for who you think is going to win race 2. At the minute, Hitman is not going to be in that one as he's not currently on track testing. I say testing. He's not qualifying. That is one.
And to be honest, with the weather increasing and dampness, you will want to be out now to get that time in now before the track gets too wet.
Indeed you do, because if it is too wet, then you really aren't going to improve on this one. So a reminder as well, Shane, Killer Camel and Benno not allowed to qualify. And Shane, where is he on track? There he is. He's set a lap time, and well, he was told he was not meant to qualify, and he's gone and qualified. So that should be interesting to see what the stewards are going to do about that one.
Well, you don't get very many penalty points now before you get a race ban. So, yeah.
Should be an interesting one to discuss. Gary is in the wall, and he's returned to pits. Euro goes fastest of all now. He goes top of the session, but obviously with the rain increasing, it is just getting less and less quicker for these guys. Who is next to come towards the line? It was, I believe, it was Nexus who's completed a lap time. Everyone else has not got to.
No, well, with yeah, Benno and Camel can't qualify. Gary's in the pits. Peaceful's in the pits. He's probably shouting at Shane right now.
Possibly so.
Gary's now coming back out of the pit lane.
He is indeed. Mummy D in the chat, and yeah, Shane, you cannot qualify. He cannot, but he's gone and done so already. So yeah, not what they. Not sure what's going to happen on that one.
We'll find out the stewards, because it looks like it's mostly going to be me until James is back out of the weekend.
Yeah, because that bonehead has decided that me and him are going to do a 12 hours to Bathurst on another league. So yeah, that's going to be fun. As Emplava into the bus stop chicane, as he finally got a lap time on the board.
Let's find out. He crosses the line now, and no.
Great stuff. Love that. Absolutely fantastic.
Great pace there. Brees has just gone off and taking the new Spa Franklin-Ships Rallycross track, which includes the whole Grand Prix circuit.
I've got the hiccups. As Ripper now into the final chicane. What lap is he going to set? 25.5 is the benchmark from Euro. I'm pretty sure he'd be near that mark. Yep,
23.
Way past that mark. That was a decent lap time from him. T's next across the line. What is he going to produce? He goes only P3. So Euro's lap time was decent. It was a good lap time, but no one else improving. And these bloody hiccups.
And here comes Fury across the line. Fury goes to P2. 2 seconds off the pace. Euro's improved to 6/10 off the pace.
He has got temperature in those tyres and finding a lap time quick.
Wolfie's now coming around the bus stop chicane. Oh, it might have been a bit wide and invalidated his lap right at the end. Wolfie goes up to P6.
So, next one on a valid lap time is Emplava again. Can he keep it on track? That is the question.
Oh, there's Dan. Hiccups. Hold your breath for about 10 seconds and breathe out slowly and do it about 3 times. As Emplava comes round Fangya and towards what was Stavolo, but it's now technically Campos, but I prefer Stavolo because it's the name of one of the villages that's near Spa, and the old 8-mile circuit they had here, which we could do on Project Cars 2.
You can. There's a lot of things you can do on Project Cars 2.
I've done it on Project Cars 2 in an old 60s Formula 1 car. That's scary.
I done it in a touring car, an old touring car. That's fun. You do it in the The Escort. That's a ride you won't forget.
When I drive an Escort, I want to go sideways, because rallying.
Very true. You will pretty much go sideways anyway. He's got too much power. As Emplava towards the line, can he get a lap time on the board? He does, but it's only good enough for P6. Euro has actually put in some decent pace here in the Ferrari. He's looking very, very good. The 88, that is Shane, who shouldn't really be out qualifying right now, should be in the pits, as he has got a qualifying ban.
On the PC here, the server admin's been able to delete his time, but we're on the PS4. We can't do that.
So here comes Fury as the next one on a valid lap time, but I think he might have got a bit too fast there, as Shane has improved, but obviously we try and gloss over that as much as we can. But if he can, he'll have to drop to the back of the pack is the only thing I can suggest, really.
Yeah, hopefully he's listening to the stream.
As Fury across the line, he only finds a 10th, so Euro has actually found some decent lap time in that Ferrari. The McLaren, your championship leader, now exits the final corner. De Silva towards the line. What is this going to be? Is it pole? Oh, not quite. He's 3/10 off. As now we've got Wolfenator in the final corner. I don't know if he's managed to validate. Yes, he has. He's P5. As the car behind him, the number 26.
That's Ripper.
That is Ripper. I think this is his out lap. So he is on a lap. And who is that in the middle sector? That is number 11. That is Peaceful Explosion, and it's valid so far. So, can Peaceful put this near the front row? He seems to be finding pace. He was struggling here with Spa in testing. He really struggled in the 2.4, but race 1 has really gone his way. Has he finally got the Honda hooked up? That is the question. Towards the bus stop chicane he comes. The SimPlay Racing Honda. What can he do as he goes through the final chicane? Towards the line he comes. And what is this going to be? He'll put in P6. So
next person on a valid lap is his teammate, Empalava.
It is his teammate. He just keep within track limits there. So now, Emplava into the final chicane we go. So, the Honda's looking fairly decent on pace. He took a lot of curb there. So that's going to slow him down ever so slightly. 2.7 off the pace. He crosses the line. And he goes. He finds a second. He now puts himself P4. Great lap time there from Emplava. Everyone now needs to be out on track right now, bar Shane, Benno, and Killer Camel. Shane has gone back out, even though he shouldn't really be out.
No.
But either way, I think that's Wolfenator's had a moment. Nope, that's not Wolfenator. That is Gary131. He's had a moment. So Gary's having a shocker at the minute in the Porsche.
Reese is now coming up to the line. And I believe he was on a clean lap, so let's have a look, see where Reese qualifies.
P4.
P4. So at the moment it goes Audi, McLaren, Ferrari, McLaren, Honda, Lexus, Audi.
Well, the next man on a valid lap time is the man we're currently on screen with right now. It is the green Wolfenator towards the final chicane. He comes. Can he nail this sector? The next car on a valid lap time is Peaceful Explosion once again. And Wolfenator's gone round. There goes the lap time. He needs to get it around as quickly as he can. But he's going to be very slow on pace as Ripper now comes towards the start-finish line to start his final attempt here. Who can stop him? But at the minute, Ripper is currently on pole position. Can anybody get near him? Currently on a lap time is the man in P9, Peaceful Explosion, but he's run wide and it's still valid.
It's still valid. He's just within track limits through Stavolo.
It is just within track limits as it's getting heavier and heavier here. So, oh, he's got a bit wide. There he goes. There's the peaceful pirouette.
I think the track's now getting borderline too wet for the slicks. The slicks are probably now starting to lose temps. He might as well return to the pits. Oh, he's taking it round again. If he crosses the line.
I mean, he's put temperature in those tyres now. He's probably flat spotted them quite nastily as well, though. But the number 75 currently on lap time, that is Euro P3 at the minute. Fantastic pace from Euro at the minute in the Ferrari. Is the Ferrari a car that's quite good in these changeable conditions? Who knows? But Euro goes a little bit wide there. I think he just keeps it within limits. So it's just him, De Silva and Ripper all still on a lap time. Peaceful also on a lap time. But most of the guys are back into the pit. Shane will have to try and drop to the back of the pack behind Gary 131 as he has meant to be serving a qualifying ban. As Euro comes now into the final sector. A lot of curb. Is that within track limits? It is. It is. Euro towards the chicane now. 6/10 to find to put him on pole position. Can the Ferrari driver do it? That is the question. Into the final chicane he comes towards the start-finish line. Is this an improvement for Euro? No, P3 only. So now De Silva and Ripper, but De Silva has invalidated his lap time. So it's now just Ripper versus Peaceful.
De Silva's returned to box.
He has returned to the box. So Ripper, the only man now to have a... the only one to take it away from him is Peaceful. And Peaceful, he's got... Is that... It's still valid.
It's in. But that was really wide. Through Brosham.
It was very wide indeed. As Ripper now into the final corner. Towards the start-finish line he comes. Has he improved on a 23.4?
No.
No. So will Peaceful find at least a little bit of time to get himself further? If he finds a second, he'll start behind Breeze and with his teammate Emplava.
He would, but his track now borderline, too wet for the slicks to provide it as much grip. But it's still too dry for the wets.
Well, it is. He has got a temperature in his tyres. It depends how heavy this rain is. As Peaceful is coming round the final sector, he just keeps taking too much curb here, and he's managed to just keep it within limits this time. So Peaceful Explosion, all he has to do is find a 10th, and he starts behind Fury 3/10 to get ahead of him, and then another half a second to get ahead of Emplava towards the final corner. We go. Peaceful Explosion towards the line. Does he improve?
No.
No. He stays where he is. So it is Ripper on pole position with Silver sign in second. Third will be Euro. Fourth will be Breeze. Fifth is Emplava. Sixth is Fury. Eighth is T. Seventh is T. Eighth is the Wolfinator. Ninth is Peaceful Explosion. Shane should be going to the back of the pack. So hopefully Nexus will start 10th. And 11th will be Gary 131. And then it'll be the rest of the drivers. Hitman does get back into the session.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, sorry,
yes.
he doesn't. So he's not in the session. Not sure what has happened to him. So Hitman's not winning this race, guys. So I wouldn't vote for him. So
I forgot to return the garage.
Nicely done. Who are you stuck on?
Peaceful.
Nice. Luckily, I did return back to garage. 2-1 now to me, PN. You'll pick a driver this time. Who do you think is going to win this one?
De Silva.
You're going with De Silva. Well, I'm going to go for the Ripper then on this one. Guys, obviously there is a poll at the minute. Get your votes in for who you think is going to win this one. There's De Silva, Ripper, Hitman and Peaceful, but I don't really think Hitman is going to win this one. So your votes are now up and live. Who's going to go that way? And let's hear you guys in the chat. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to be notified so you don't miss anything here at SimPlay Motorsport. And if you want to get involved, then head over to our SimGrid. Sign-ups are all available on there if you want to get involved, or head over to our Discord page. We do have a Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. We're on anything and everything. Also, just a reminder as well, have a look at our sponsors. These guys really do make this possible for us here at SimPlay Motorsport. And if you want to get involved in sponsoring our channel, then please feel free to contact any of the admin team, myself, PNMotorsport, Peaceful Explosion, or Matt Ahimovic, and we will discuss obviously trying to get you on the sponsorship. Not obviously just you'll be sponsoring the channel, but any events where any of the SimPlay drivers will be racing on under these, your brand or company will be exposed to the channels that they're racing on or over the different leagues that are here on SimPlay Motorsport. But regarding the ones that are currently sponsoring us at the minute, then please have a look at Audio Sport, Design Manchester, and Sea Leech Designs as well. Get yourself down to their channels, Instagrams, any of their social media, and get involved and get whatever they're offering to you guys. And I know for a fact that the Audio Sport brand will be selling you manufacturer of Volkswagen Transport T4 audio solutions and styling products for not just obviously T4s, T5s, and multiple other different car brands as well. Sorry?
Virgin 308?
Probably, actually. Or head over to Design Manchester, that produces vinyl graphics, laser engraved gifts for mugs and printed clothing, and much more, including SimPlay merchandise apparently. So head over to those guys and have a look at their websites, their channels, their Instagrams, do all that lovely stuff. And I think I've done enough of promoting. Reminder as well that the SimPlay Racing Boys are racing the next endurance race. That will be just myself and James, your F1 champion. We will be taking the challenge of the 12 hours of Bathurst, where I will be starting the race because James will be travelling his way back from Wales. So I will be doing the qualifying, I'll be starting the race.
Whoa, Mike spun out on a warm-up lap.
I wish I'd seen that.
I did see that.
So yeah, make sure you tune in on Saturday as myself and James. What can we do in the SimPlay Racing BMW M4? As
oh, what a car!
As yeah, we will be doing that one. Peaceful has now dropped to the back of the pack. Can he get himself back in his grid order?
No,
that is the question.
Probably rev limiter, so he can't get. Oh, he's having a go, but
he's working his way through.
But oh,
he's got away with it.
He has got away with it.
So Shane really needs to drop behind Nexus and Gary 131 so that he can really kind of get rid of that possible extra penalty that is coming his way.
No, that'd be a ticket going in, I reckon. I don't know if Louis still, one of the other stewards are still in the stream watching.
I believe he is watching. He did pop in the chat earlier on.
But that was about 2 hours ago, though.
Dumber.
Whoa, Fury slid absolutely sideways. I don't like this weaving. You actually do not put any heat in the tyres weaving.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't. You put you put more heat in the tyres, pressing on the brake pedal.
On the PC version, I know for a fact weaving does more actually than anything else. I did put my foot on the brake and it wasn't doing enough, and then I start weaving and it starts to improve the brake and temperatures of the tyres as
you
well.
Want the core of a tyre warmer than the surface.
Yeah, but it's ACC. It's rubbish. It's nothing on project cars. Project
Nothing
cars
on
is
the real driving simulator. Forza Motorsport only on Xbox.
No, F1 2023.
No, that's not.
Right,
I've got it. It's not as good as people make out of. It's quite glitchy still.
Have you seen the glitch where the guy did a flashback and he was in Spa-Francorchamps and he was able to go through the pit lane?
Yeah, and calling the drivers the wrong name on the grid.
Well, that's good, isn't it? Right, so we're about to get underway for round 4 of the season. It is Ripper on pole position with De Silva alongside 1 point separating these two. Euro with a fantastic qualifying session will be up with him. Breeze will start in P4, but who is going to be the one to take the win tonight? I've gone Ripper. PN has gone De Silva. Get on who you think is going to win this one. Is it going to be Audi or is it going to be McLaren? And that is the question. With these greasy, wet conditions, it's going to get heavier, but it is going to basically stay the same pretty much for most of this race. In 10 minutes' time, it's going to get heavier. By the end of the race, it will do nothing. So
it's still increasing.
It's still increasing. So who's going to be able to be, who's on slicks, who's on wets, that is the question, as Ripper will now come towards the start-finish line. What is going to happen this one? Round 4 of the SimPlay season here on ACC. Ripper versus De Silva. Race start initialized. Here we go. Who's going to be to the corner first? It is a green start here, and it's Ripper towards turn 1 as they all take it relatively calm through the Eau Rouge and Radion. Everyone pretty much surviving the corner. Fury's a little bit loose, but pretty much, again, everyone survives Eau Rouge and Radion relatively well. It's always when Matt's not here. Suspicious.
And a certain McLaren.
No overtaker either, so those two really causes the issues, I think. Joking, guys, I'm joking. Shane drops to the back of the pack, so obviously he's not had the best start either. Oh, there we go. There's some contact. Who was that? That's Killer Camel. Who's he tripped over? He's tripped over. I'm not sure who he's tripped over. On his own, I think.
Oh, on his own, maybe?
Possibly so. I think. Oh, no. Who's that? That's Peaceful. It's Peaceful Explosion. So Peaceful getting caught up with him. Meanwhile, Ripper and De Silva are gone. Emplava's now ahead of Euro, so we've missed that one. Fury's now attacking Breeze. So maybe Euro and Breeze went side by side, and now Fury is attacking Breeze down the inside of Pouon. There you go, and Breeze will have to yield that position. Here comes Gary 131 in the Porsche, and through he goes. Nexus losing out to Gary 131 earlier on and gets past Breeze now. Ripper, though, has got De Silva breathing down his neck. Meanwhile, we got Euro attacking Emplava. Then we got T, who's up into P5. And then Breeze, Fury, and the rest of the pack all fading behind one another. Peaceful still in this, though. He's just behind.
Was wide. You don't want to do that now with it getting increasingly more moist.
Indeed, you don't, as now De Silva really on the hunt now for the Ripper. As Ripper, again, I think he's got a better straight line speed, but I think De Silva's got the better aero package. Meanwhile, Euro is now starting to come under pressure from T. Meanwhile, Nexus is trying to attack Gary 131 up the bus stop chicane. Here he goes. Down the inside,
Whoa.
Nexus misses his braking and straight lines to chicane. He's going to do a long turnaround there as they all funnel their way through as Shane and the Wolfinator.
Oh, that's a questionable rejoin by Nexus as well. On to Peaceful. That was a very questionable rejoin.
Meanwhile, Ripper still leads the way as he's lost the. He's gained a bit of time over De Silva, and yeah, I was about to say, probably going to be looked at that one.
I'm going to be really, really busy, aren't I? And I want to have a history fit because I want to go play video games, not do stewarding.
Possibly so. Fury really hassling the back of Gary 131 as Fury did lose out to Gary. Here he comes around the outside towards the back straight, towards turn 4 we go, and Fury's already got done. It's like Gary made it easy for him.
Yeah, I think it's going to get very wet, very quick. This is the Ardennes Mountain as well, as Nexus has let Peaceful past.
Meanwhile,
he has.
So is Nexus just struggling at the minute for overall tyre temperature? That is the question. Emplava is still doing a titanic job of keeping Euro behind him. He's sitting there with 1/10 behind him. Meanwhile, T is right on the back bumper of Euro as well. So a great little scrap going on here. Fury is now starting to pull away from Gary 131. Benno in P8. 9th is the Wolfinator as Shane goes around the outside of Killer Camel. Killer Camel got a little bit of damage to the side of his car. Meanwhile, Breeze and is ahead of Peaceful and Nexus. I think these two are actually ahead of Killer Camel and Shane. So yeah, they're ahead of them. As now De Silva just sits and waits. I've been so used to seeing that McLaren sitting behind me and just slowly creep onto the back of you, slowly start to hunt you like a shark.
Yeah, we're interested to see. They've probably got the dry setup in dry-ish setup. You don't hybridize it, like turn a wing on the back and traction control.
This should be interesting. This should be interesting. Lexus versus Porsche. Not the fastest, both in a straight line. Gary sticking to the back of the Lexus of Fury as they go through the left-hander And is Gary going to be bold enough to make for a move? If Fury goes very wide, no. Fury has managed to extend that gap. Meanwhile, we go back to Euro and Emplava, who are still having a little squabble right now. And Emplava still holds on to that position. T not able to do anything about them either. Gary 131 is right on the back of Fury. Is there attack into turn 1, into the hairpin? No.
Oh, Nexus is around again at the bus stop. I believe he's collided with somebody. I think it might have been Camel, because Camel is running away from the scene of the crime right now. As we say, good evening to Emo Guy in YouTube chat.
Meanwhile, De Silva still just sitting and waiting, trying to decide when's the right time to attack Ripper or to try and pressurize him into a mistake. We come up to the delta time, it's 4:10, so De Silva now starting to creep onto the back of him. Euro currently P4 with Emplava just ahead of him. T's lost a little bit of lap time this time round, as Gary's now also starting to lose pace to Fury, as Benno's right on the back of Gary 131. Can he find a way through?
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see. Gary's sort of like thinking, oh no, there's a Bentley behind me, but it's not Matt.
No.
Even though it's got the green of Matt, what Matt's been running on it. So, with the McLarens, which one would you rather use, the 650 or the 720?
Oh, the 650, but that's because of other reasons. Meanwhile, Benno's attacking the...
It also looks nicer.
It does look nicer. Benno's down the side of Gary. He barges past him. A bit of a rude
Gary's
move
lost
there,
it.
and Gary's gone round, probably due to the little shove from Benno, and Gary's night goes from bad to worse. Matt's going to rewatch this and go, oh my days. As now Peaceful Explosion now goes ahead of Gary 131. So Peaceful slowly working his way up the pack. Emplava is helping him out by backing everybody up, as there's now a 6.6 second gap between the top two, which is Ripper and De Silva, who are on another level right now, to then Emplava and everybody else.
Yeah, as De Silva's starting in the Benson and Hedges Super Kings McLaren, that's what I'm going to call it from now on because of the gold livery, hunts for Ripper in his Audi. Absolutely trying to get onto him as they come across for another lap.
So what probably De Silva's doing right now is just trying to evaluate where he's quicker, how is he going to gain on Ripper, because at the minute I would say that they're level at the minute. There's no real one driver that's showing like distinctive pace. One driver is clearly quicker in one sector and the other one's quicker in the other. So I think Ripper's quicker in a straight line, as the Audi is very strong around Spa anyway, but De Silva seems to be more planted in the corners.
Indeed. Well, it's ebbing and flowing at the moment between them, to quote Matt. Tell up in the commentary box with him for Am. Oh, Euro's right up the rear ring of Emplava.
Yeah, Benno's now attacking Fury. We look to the fight of Emplava and Euro as they head towards the right-hander, and I think Emplava's just going to hang on to that one. We go back to Fury and Benno. As Fury goes a little bit deep, Benno's going to go around the outside. He'll have the inside for the next part of the corner. The Wolfinator's just there as well. Benno's on the curve. Fury really had to try and give some space there, as Wolfinator now comes flying behind. He now hits Fury, and Fury is in the wall. And Fury now drops behind Benno and the Wolfinator.
And flashing. He's not happy. Fury was not happy. He's given a flash up the lights there.
As we now head towards Pouhon, we can hear the fact that the McLaren is right on the rear wing of the Audi again. So you can see here, PN, like I said, De Silva makes all his time up in the middle sector, while the Ripper makes all of his time in the first and third. So
I think De Silva's running more aero, slightly more aero, give it a bit more grip through the twiddly parts. As we had a yellow flag.
Fury's in the wall. Fury's in the wall. He's had a moment. And he's had another flash again. He's flashing another driver. Who is he flashing at? Is it possibly Breeze? Breeze has got front end damage and he's slow. Is he waiting for Fury? Is that the question here? As Killer Camel has now gone through. As where is Peaceful in all this? He's cleared all these guys, so he's already ahead.
He ain't no Peaceful.
He is slowly working his way up the order. Where is Breeze? There he is. So he's not lifted to give the place back to Fury, so we're not sure what happened there. Oh, Shane's gone round, and as Shane's gone round, Gary was right there. Wrong place, wrong time, as Nexus now comes around the final corner and sees a Porsche that stopped in the middle of the road. De Silva once again on the back of Ripper, and Plava's made a bit of a gap on Euro. It's now 1.5 at the minute, so Emplava pulling away. T currently P5, Benno P6, 7 is the Wolfinator, P8. Oh, look at that from Peaceful Explosion.
Perfectly timed.
Straight in.
Does he keep it on slicks, or will he brave the wets? Because it's only going to get wetter, looking at the weather. Because if you look right at the end, that's a solid light rain cloud.
It is, but that's at the end of the race. At the minute, it's just 10 minutes of this rain. So, I would say stick to slicks. But that's just me. But
then again, you were on slicks when we were practicing in the Porsche Cup car for a giggle, along with Keegs.
yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
You should try some Maserati.
No. Closest fight right now on track is T versus Benno. Benno at the minute is looking to try and find a way through. Fury has only now gone up to the second sector. He's going to be wanting to forget this one pretty quick. T now still struggling with Benno right behind him.
So we've got... I'm now going to watch the pit stops while you carry on, like the exit.
Oh, look at this. De Silva right on the rear wing of Ripper once again. It is just ebbing and flowing between these two. 1 minute Ripper is quicker. Next minute De Silva is quicker. 3/10 is the gap. And it's here here De Silva having to lift as Peaceful does the dab sign. Has he actually managed to successfully pull this off, or is he just maybe a second over? Ripper now into the final sector. He's still got De Silva breathing down his neck. What does De Silva do? Does he stay out, or does he keep hustling the back of the Audi?
As Mike emotes in chat, and he's completed the stop, gone green.
He has timed that to perfection. So Ripper and De Silva coming together. Now, if I was De Silva, I would have done the opposite of what Ripper done. So if that was me, I would have stayed out. But either way, we've got a few cars coming into the pits. Euro is in the pits, T is in the pits, and I think that is it. Fury would definitely be coming into the pits this lap, I think, as he's run very wide and he's got major damage to the front of that car. Shane is in the pits as well, but I don't know if he's retired.
Don't know yet. No, he's just lowered the car down, so his stop's completed and Shane is away.
He's got a perfectly clean car as well. So just his teammate comes in, he comes out.
Ideal pit stall as well, right at the end of the pit lane, so we could just hammer it out and keeping it within the white lines of the pit lane.
So
well done, Shane.
It's not often we get to say this. Emplava now leads this race. The last time I commentated on Emplava leading the race, he dropped it under the safety car. So Emplava leading away ahead of Benno with Wolfinator in P3. These guys still all yet to pit, as does Killer Camel. He's now going to go up to P4. But everybody else currently in the pits. There is the Ripper. He's currently in P5, P6 is De Silva. Both of these two are waiting to go green. Where is Peaceful Explosion? He's only now coming to the final sector. He's got Nexus not too far behind. So Nexus has made some decent progress to be on the back of Peaceful. Now, the question is, where will these two feed in with all these pit stoppers? Euro and T, I think, are just out of reach at the moment. Possibly T, as Fury only now comes to the box. As there goes Ripper, there goes De Silva.
De Silva's jumped Ripper.
He has jumped him. And out goes De Silva. Ripper will have to follow in his tracks. Peaceful Explosion now coming to the bus stop. Euro is now got going. So Peaceful Explosion is not going to gain any places on these guys except for possibly Fury, but he was already ahead of Fury. His fight is with his teammate, Benno, Green Wolfinator, and Killer Camel.
Cut. That time. That was borderline, it was on the line. I'll just have to review that. But I couldn't see T because he was climbing up behind Euro's car.
Well,
Euro
Pete,
car.
after the earlier pit stop, Peaceful is really only going to make one place as he pretty much straight lines the Eau Rouge and Radion. So he's got a bit of a trek to catch the guys in front, but meanwhile, De Silva has cleared Ripper by quite a decent amount.
Nexus is back in the pits.
He's got a bit of damage to the front end of that car, as now M. Prava is in, as is Benno. So now Wolfenator will lead this race. Is he going to extend the stint as far as he can? We are halfway through this race, so we will end the poll there. And so far, 46% of you reckon Ripper's going to win. The 23% reckon it's going to be Hitman, but there's no Hitman, so it'll be De Silva.
It's about 3 seconds between De Silva and Ripper. Looking at the relative.
Yeah, so De Silva's made a decent gain out of that one. Right now, the weather looking like it's going to stay just like these greasy conditions, not really going to get wet or damp anytime soon. So it is still slick conditions at the minute. These guys are really earning their money today.
Are they earning money?
No. No. I mean, I don't know. Some of them are on maybe streaming on Twitch, so they might be earning some money.
Well, unless they're over 50 followers to get your affiliate sub button.
Well, some of them might be. Did I know?
Fury is. I know Fury's got like 200 plus followers.
Meanwhile, Euro is starting to come under some pressure from T, who's currently just behind him. These guys are looking to try and clear the Emplava Benno scrap. So, as we hear the cars go through, Ripper goes through, and he's quite a bit off the back of De Silva. Palava is away, and he comes straight out. Where is Euro? Not quite on the back of these guys just yet. They come up to the top of the hill.
Okay.
This is going to be close.
There
goes Euro.
Euro's at full head of speed, though.
He is.
Warm tyres.
Benno's trying to produce some tyre temperature, and right now the Ferrari is coming to attack the Bentley, and Euro has lost out to the Bentley. So Emprava manages to hang in there for P3. Peaceful is not a million miles away. He's just at the end of the back straight, while these guys are all too busy squabbling. Now Ripper has now decided to rip things up, and he's now got tyre temperature, tyre pressures. So is he now coming for the leaders? Meanwhile, Wolfenator, this is going to be interesting, PN, because like I said, Wolfenator was in this scrap as well. So this is going to be a tight little fight between these groups.
It is indeed, and Camel's also now on pit road, pit lane.
We've now got the last two drivers in pit lane, as Benno still trying to hassle the back of Emplava, and Emplava is really trying his best right now to keep Benno behind. Benno's going to go around the outside, try and get the inside for the next corner. Beautiful setup there. Has he got the job done? He's still giving Emplava racing room. Emplava's going to stay to the inside, but he thinks better of it and pulls out of that one. Euro in the Ferrari, though, he's got some pace, and he's now trying to hustle the back of them. T has lost out to these guys. He's had a moment somewhere, as Mike is only now going through Puon, so he's not really going to catch these guys at the minute. But Benno, what a move there on the Honda of Emprava, and that is for net third as well, reminder. So these guys, best of the rest, they're behind Ripper and De Silva.
As it's now less than a second between De Silva
Track
and Ripper.
conditions have now been confirmed as damp.
So it is getting wetter.
It is getting wetter. 9/10 separating De Silva and Ripper. So Ripper has brought that 3.1 second gap down, and is now within 9/10 of the race leader. It is wet, or beginning to be wet. Oh, De Silva's had a moment over Rouge and Radion, but he's caught it. He's on slicks. He's got to be on slicks.
It's definitely getting mildly moist now.
Wolfenator has had the green, but he's not going to be able to keep with these guys. Now it depends. Wolfenator probably done something very clever here. He's probably got as long as he possibly can, so that he can see how wet the conditions are going to get. but he has cut the chicane. Killer Camel, he is pretty much racing Peaceful Explosion. So Killer Camel now coming out of the pit lane.
Cut.
Here comes Peaceful Explosion. Killer Camel, I don't think has actually repaired his damage. So here comes Peaceful. So now Ripper retakes this lead. The pit window is now closed, as the officials now tell us. And so far, PN, looks like I've gone from a 2-1 to possibly a 3-1 at the minute.
Yeah, does it matter? No.
Yeah, to me it does.
No, it doesn't. To you it does, to me it don't. I don't care.
I always want to win.
You don't win in life because eventually everybody loses.
Whoa. Peaceful Explosion now trying to catch onto the back of Killer Camel. I think Killer Camel he's still got scuffs on the front of his car, so I don't think he's repaired any damage. Benno has pretty much cleared Emplava, so no real fight there, and Euro as well. I think it's just not able to mount an attack on Emplava at the minute. Wolfinator currently P6 with T in P7, Killer Camel in P8, and the closest fight is Peaceful in P9. Breeze is P10, the Gary 131 in P11 with Fury in 12, Shane 13th, and Nexus bringing up the rear. The 2.4 winner is really going to not want to come back to Spa once again. But it is Ripper who leads the way at the minute with De Silva in second. Now the tyre situation is important to know here, because if they're in damp conditions, it's probably leaning more the way of a wet tyre setup. But really now PN.
Whoa! De Silva sideways, still sideways, all the sideways through the Rouge and Radion.
We just got the tail end of that one. Yes, he was very sideways.
And I've just gone into the drive. I can see what tyres he's on.
And he is on dries.
De Silva's on wets.
He's on wets. So that's probably why he's struggling. Has he ballooned those tyres? Is everybody else on dries?
Beddo's on dries. Ripper was on dries.
It is a dry track. Well, it is wet, but it's a dry track. So has De Silva thought, right, okay, let's just try and get through this phase, and when it gets heavier, I'll be on the better tyre?
I think he might be the only person on wets, because I'm getting bored blowing through all the drivers.
Yeah, I think, if anything...
Shane's on wets.
So,
but they've got to go through the ballooning phase of the tyres.
they do have to go through the ballooning phase, which is doable. I have seen some ACC drivers do it. They've got to go through the ballooning phase, but they just really need this. They really need this wet weather to come down really heavy now for it to really play any effect. You can see De Silva just struggling with turning. The car's twitchy. It's not in a good place. I mean, he's still matching Ripper, but Ripper is just in a smooth, consistent pace right now. He's got the car of Nexus in his way, so he's going to try and clear him.
It's intermediate condition now, and we don't have inters in ACC because they don't have inters in GT World Challenge. So that's why they're not on inters.
As Ripper exits the final corner, Nexus allows him through. Nicely done. So what's the gap now? 5.5 was the gap, and it is now 5.6. So it's still at the minute the dry tyres is the way to go. Euro has brought that gap back down once again to Emplava to just less than 0.4 of a second. So can Euro finally mount an attack on Emplava, or is he going to run out of time? We've probably only got 4 laps of this race to go. So what can Euro do in P5 at the minute? Can he find a way past that Honda?
Then can he catch for 6 seconds to Benno on the Bentley?
That's going to be a hard one to add, because obviously beforehand Benny was in the he was on wet brakes, wasn't he, for race 1?
Or on qualifying brakes, the ones that only do about 15 minutes before you got no brakes at all. set 4 into.
Yeah, that's the qualifying break. Set 3 is wets. 1 is sprint and 2 is endurance. So yeah. Right now, I'll get familiar with the endurance breaks on Saturday. Right now, Peaceful Explosion is now heading to the back of the Lexus of Killer Camel. 1.5 off the back of him at the minute, but the main fight is with his teammate. Euro is trying to keep up with Emplava, and Emplava is trying to score as many points as possible for him and Peaceful Explosion. They now head to a Puon. The gap for De Silva and Ripper has increased 5.9, so Ripper really has got this under control at this stage.
Unless there's a torrential downpour.
Yes, then he is in trouble.
But I think De Silva's in trouble putting the wets on. I don't think it was well enough. So that's 2 bad tyre choices for De Silva this week.
Yep, it has not been a De Silva's week so far. We're currently on board Peaceful Explosion, who's looking to try and make a move on Killer Camel.
Can you get the Honda battle of the 2 Japanese marks here? There is a third, but no one will unbeat this end.
And at the minute, it is the Lexus of Killer Camel ahead of the Honda of Peaceful Explosion. They do have a British machine coming up behind them of Breeze in the McLaren. He's not had the best race too. But either way, Killer Camel doing everything right so far to keep ahead of Peaceful Explosion.
Though he did cross the white line out of pit exit. Camel did. So.
Euro has had a moment. He has dropped behind the Wolfinator, and Emprava has extended the gap on the pair of them. So has Euro had a little spin, a little moment? That is the question as he now heads towards Eau Rouge and Radion. We go back to a Peaceful and Killer Camel, because that is your closest fight at the minute, as I will now put a poll out for driver of the day.
Has Ripper got the heat in the tyres still? Don't know. Has De Silva... It's probably got balloons for tyres, or... Benno is bound in 2 seconds within the last couple of laps towards De Silva. Empalava in 4th. Good steady race for Empalavski.
Yeah, it has been quite a relatively quiet race for Emplava. Pretty smooth and consistent. Decent points on the table. Meanwhile, Killer Camel has caught up to T here, so T's had a moment. So we'll put a poll out for driver of the day just so they come into the last lap. But right now, T has got major damage to the back and front of that Audi. He's in real trouble here as Emplava has now lost out to... Oh, he hasn't lost out to anyone, sorry. I don't know why.
Right.
But Killer Camel is down the inside of T. Here comes Killer Camel towards Puon. He should have the advantage of just a more with it car. And T has gone wide. Oh, as the Audi twitches, it twitches, it twitches. It has the Honda, Peaceful Explosion breathing down its neck now. Can Peaceful find a way through? He's going to go down the inside. Here comes Breeze as well. Three wide. And Breeze down the inside, sneaky up a position as Ripper now starts the final lap of this race. And he keeps the gap so far to De Silva.
It's decreased. It has decreased by 3/10. So De Silva's wets might be working now.
They might be, but it's too little too late as Peaceful Explosion now gets ahead of T as they had a little bit of a scrap there. But meanwhile, Ripper, oh, he's very cautious through Eau Rouge and Radion now. You can hear him lifting ever so slightly. Meanwhile, De Silva, pretty planted. I think he's got through the ballooning stage, and now it is down to the get to the end of the race. But still, he's going to lose out to the championship lead to the man who is leading this race. Get your votes here for driver of the day. Your options are Ripper, Peaceful, Benno and Emplava. As De Silva probably had a round he would like to forget tonight. But Ripper doing a fantastic job here tonight, starting from the back of the pack, and he worked his way up. No real fights at the minute, as Breeze is trying to get onto the back of Killer Camel. Can he do anything about him at the minute? Euro is still, Green Wolfinator, sorry, is within reach of Plava, but I think he's not going to come out on the top of that one. But, oh, didn't want to do that.
Oops.
It is fit me to drive, because obviously the timer has come to an end.
Yeah, I've lost. Oh, where's my cursor? In the game. Thought I just lost my cursor then. Breeze is looking at the back of that Lexus, probably going to think, not again.
Wolfinator slowly catching Plava, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Meanwhile, Ripper is now heading into the final sector. Race 1 was P2, but race 2 is going to go the way of him. He is going to win the 4th round of the season. We've had 3 different winners. De Silva winning the first 2 rounds. Hitman winning race 1 here for the start of Spa, but it is going to be Ripper to win round 4 of the championship here at Spa. Ripper is your winner for tonight's race. De Silva comes home for P2, best he could do on those wets, as Benno will come and complete the podium in P3. He's got Nexus right behind him in the Audi. He'll finish 14th place. And Plava will come home in 4th. And Green Wolfinator will just follow him home in 5th place position. Solid drive there from those 3 guys. And Plava, Wolfinator and Euro all doing a fantastic job. Killer Camel still trying to hang in there for Breeze. This is the final few places. Killer Camel's got very wide. They have got very wide indeed. Is Breeze going to try and send it up into the chicane? He's going to go around the outside of him. He's going to try and get the job done. Killer Camel trying to hold on, and he will just hold on to 7th place position. Breeze will come home in 8th. 9th will go the way of Peaceful Explosion, and 10th will go the way of T. Fury is in 11th, Gary's in 12th, and Shane bringing up the rear. That is your finishing order, but it is this man, Ripper, who wins round 4 of the championship. Fury has gone off, as Gary's not a million miles away, so he can't keep doing that too much. But wow, what a race. These 3C conditions have really challenged the drivers here tonight.
Fury's having trouble putting his power down then.
He's drifting, he's doing it on purpose, I know for sure. But Gary 131 has now come into the final corner. He's now completes the order, and that is it for tonight's race here at Spa. We did have issues with the server earlier on, but we have managed to sort that all out now, and that is that, PN. What a drive from Hitman. He's been really on it tonight. First things first, driver of the day for yourself, and also let's discuss obviously the next round of the season will be at Catalonia for these guys. Yeah, so driver of the day, PN?
Tied between Mike and then Palava in that Honda. I saw what it was like in pre-season testing, and it was a handful in the mixed conditions here around here, so they did really well to get there.
They did indeed. For us though, like I said, it is going to be a break for a couple of days as we head to Catalonia for the next round of the championship. Right now I'm currently trying to sort out the tables so that we can see who is where in the championship. The game has decided, my stream has decided to go backwards. For me, my driver of the day has to go the way of Ripper. What a drive from him. He's come from the back of the pack to finish second. And once again, my thing has decided to not enjoy doing what I want it to do. So for me, Ripper, driver of the day, but honourable mentions to so many driver. Breeze with a solid drive tonight. Euro race 2 was fantastic. But yeah, it's all going to be coming down to the next round of the season, which will be Catalonia, as we should have Matahimovic back. So nice to see Matt back on the grid. Hopefully we'll have Overtaker, Jamie, and all the rest of the guys as well. And I'm still just finishing off the tables now, so I could finish waffling on about all sorts. So let's get this done now. PN, are we looking forward to the next round of the season? We head to Circuit Catalunya, Barcelona for the next round of the season. I probably said that the wrong way around, but I gave it a go anyway.
No, I hate that circuit. I hate that stupid chicane at the end of that. Well, one like they're finally taking out a Formula 1.
And you can't drive it on ACC.
You can, you just get a penalty.
That is very true. Right, so here is your unofficial drivers and teams championship. It is Ripper leading the way, now only a point ahead of De Silva. So De Silva is leading by a point. Now it's flipped the other way around. Ripper is now leading the way, 1 point ahead of De Silva. Wolfinator now up into P3 with Breeze in P4. Benno in P5 on they're both leveled on 53 points, so that is close. T is dropped down to P6, Fury P7, P8 is Peaceful, P9 is Emprava. All those three are level on points, 49 points on those guys. Matahimovic in P10, P11 is Gary 131, Nexus is P12, David is P13 with 14th is Euro, 15th is Killer Camel, 16th is Hitman, 17th is Shane, Overtaker 18th, Big Boy Brazier, and F1 Billow still to complete a point scoring round. And Killer Performance leading away 7 points ahead of JWB Esports Racing 2, as SimPlay Racing are in P3 with Jaeger Motorsport moving down to P4, JWB Esports Racing 1 in P5 with Teletubby Motorsport in P6, and Button Bashers Racing at the back of the pack. There we go, guys. That is your unofficial drivers standings at the minute. Make sure you tune in next week for the next round of the season at Circuit Catalunya, Barcelona. We will now end the poll for driver of the day, and it has gone the way of the Ripper. So congratulations to him for driver of the day. PN, that's pretty much it for us. Make sure you tune in soon, because on the screen now we have got the Porsche Super Cup soon starting. These guys will be hitting the track very, very shortly, and see what these guys will be up to. PN, final words from you, and it's going to be an interesting season with these two, De Silva and Ripper, going at it, changing positions all the way around the season.
Yeah, thank you, Spa, for some excellent racing, because you have a good old circuit. If F1 drop you, it's a crime for another Tilcadrome or rubbish street circuit. Yeah. But, yeah, thank you, Spa, and onwards to Catalunya.
Onwards to Catalonia. Obviously, with the weather at the minute, it's nice, hot, sunny conditions here in the UK. Is it going to be the same in Spain, in Barcelona? Will we see that lovely sunshine, and will we finally get rid of some wet weather? That is the question. But make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to be notified. A reminder to all the drivers as well, if you do want to put in any stewards inquiries, you have 24 hours. You need to provide your footage, whether if it was a stream that you've produced or just to save the replay, but make sure the HUD is viewed so that we can see. And also keep an eye on the tables, as the stewards decisions will be uploaded, and we will get the official result after this round. But that is it here in the pros. De Silva versus Ripper, 1 point separating the two of them as they head to the third stop of the season, rounds 5 and 6 at Barcelona, Catalunya. We will see you in a week's time, but from myself and PN and everybody here at SimPlay Motorsport, it is good night.
Good night.
Freedom, I never had the chance to run. Leave behind the said and done. Figure out what's to come. Reasons, all the bigger things I can't ignore. I'm not getting what I came here for. Gotta get ahead of something more. So I think I found a new way out. you keep it to yourself for once.